Hi, my name is Talia Haibara, and I will be reading the sections of the creative nonfiction essay I wrote for senior seminar. It's called The Journal of Side Effects. When I got out of the hospital for the first time, I started seeing a therapist. If the circumstances under which I met her aren't like out of a scene out of a mob movie, I don't know what is. On the last day of my incarceration, a woman with a short rainbow mini dress came in to talk to me. She said, "Call Peter Brower. He's your case manager. If you don't call him, he'll call you." I thought, well, okay, I guess I better call him. Peter Brower sent me to Lake's Mental Health Center. There I met my counselor, Nancy Trickey. She had long white hair, pretty blue eyes, and a quick smile. She asked me 2 questions every time I saw her. How are you doing, and how are the medications? My answers were always along the same lines. I want to be back in school, and I never wanted to be on medications. I wondered if I was considered a tough case. I didn't want to be where I was, and I didn't want to take my medications. But alas, I was where I was, and I did take my medications. Nancy did a diagnostic assessment on me. She asked if I took drugs or drank alcohol. No and no. Then she asked me her 2 questions. How are you? I want to go back to school. How are the medications going? I never wanted to be on medications, but I'm taking them. This was our ongoing battle. I complained to my friend M. They're not letting me go for a walk. I met M on my first day. She said crows were bad luck. After she returned from the walk, she handed me a bag of gummy worms. She watched me throw the bag in the trash. Later, I said I was sorry. I was just angry. She said she knew and she was sorry too. She said she had done everything to find help. She had driven with her eyes closed, broken ribs, and stolen makeup. Eventually, my mom visited. I smelled the outside air on her. At night, a few patients and I gathered around a computer watching Demi Lovato or Selena Gomez sing a popular song. Are they the same person? How do I tell them apart? I asked one of the patients what he wanted to listen to. He looked attractive with dark brown facial hair. He said, "I don't care." I repeated back at him, "You don't care?" I turned away and looked back at the singer. I visited the nurse's station and asked if I could take a walk. The nurse said, "You can't go outside. You're not a code 3. I said, "What if you want to go for a walk and someone said you couldn't because you're not a code 3? While everyone else was on a walk, I dragged my yoga mat out to the TV room and started doing yoga in the front of the room. I did a downward dog and sun salutation. The room felt hot and I smelled like sweat. I sat down on my mat cross-legged. I laid my hands on my knees, closed my eyes, and meditated. The sun shone in through the windows, hot on my skin. I took a shower, asked the nurse for a new set of scrubs, and told them to clean the bathroom, for it was dirty when I used it. The next morning, a new set of nurses took my blood pressure, handed pills out, and stood vigil in the halls. I paced in front of the conference room doors, waiting for my turn to see the doctors. Once inside the room, I told the doctors all I wanted to do was go on a walk outside. The doctors replied, "We'll talk to your nurses about it." I was confused because the nurses said they would talk to the doctors about it. There seemed to be some disconnect here. I slumped down in my chair, hopeless, defeated. In the fall, I went back to school and was completely fine for the entire year. I made new friends, gained some weight, and got straight A's in my classes. Gaining weight was definitely not part of my plan, but everything else went smoothly. Sometimes I thought, if I just would have thought about going to class the next day, or if I could just hold it together, I wouldn't relapse. But I got wiser about this and learned to accept that mental illness is real. There are good days and there are bad days. Every day gets a little better. I relapsed again in the fall. Was it because I went off of medications again, or was I stressed about going back to school? I don't know. Maybe it was all those things. I got better and went back to school. Now I'm going to graduate. Do I see relapse in my future? No, I can only hope for the best.